All right, guys. So we are live on Facebook, and in a bit we're going to be live on YouTube. So welcome to episode number 9 of the Saturday Night Lockdown. It's going to be a killer episode. We're going to have two icons, let's say, of metal. Two, as I said in the stories before, two pioneers of their respective genre. They invented kind of a new style in metal, and they are both both of them have been very influential for FLESHGOD, and especially for me. Both of these bands are bands that I've started listening when I started actually listening to metal, and so it's a great pleasure for me to have them with us tonight. And so thank you very much for following us. We reached episode number 9, which is a great thing. Hi everyone! I see you starting commenting on the YouTube. I'm gonna refresh also the Facebook page. I'm pretty sure that you started commenting there as well. What else? Situation is a little bit better now in Italy. In general, except for Brazil and some other countries, unfortunately, I see a little bit of improvement everywhere, and so we have to stay positive, as I say every time. And it's maybe we are in the right path, and we are slowly going back to normality, or maybe we're finding a way to coexist with all this. All right, so let's move on. Let's get it started with our guest. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Dino Cazares from Fear Factory. Hey, Dino, how are you doing?
Good. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. Better than 2 months ago.
Actually. It's 9 a.m. here in Los Angeles. Yeah. And for me, it's Saturday morning lockdown.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you very much for waking up early and stay with us. It's I think we have 9 hours between us, something like that.
Yes, you're in Italy, right? So 9 hours.
9 hours. So you are in Los Angeles, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And how is the situation there in California now?
Well, here in California, it's like phase 2, where things are slightly opening up. There's some outside of Los Angeles where it's a little less rural. They're actually opening up restaurants, and they're opening up, more stores, like local stores, not just like the big stores, not like Walmart and Costco, but the smaller stores are starting to open up. So it's actually cool.
Yeah. So do you have restrictions? Do you have restrictions? Like you have to go with a mask or stuff, or one by one, stuff like that?
Yeah.
It's pretty similar.
You're definitely required to wear a mask. Yeah. And a lot of stores won't let you in if you're not wearing a mask.
Okay. Yeah. So
that's cool.
Pretty much.
But when I go out, I always wear gloves and a mask all the time.
Yeah. It's safer, and also it's for sure it's gonna be like that for until we get a vaccine. So it's better to get used to this, I think. I also seen that some clubs in America are starting to reopen with some restrictions, like audience restrictions, like 150 people, 200 people. So in some states, they even have like they allow to 500, I think, something like that.
Really?
I've seen like also, I think Florida or Texas, they are just restarting with the Skype, like small clubs.
Yeah, for us as musicians, we had to get very, very creative these last few months. Obviously, bands like us, we make the majority of our income touring and being on the road, selling merchandise, things like that.
Absolutely.
Now that we're all having to be quarantined, we all had to get creative on how we're going to start making our income. And it also led me to pay attention to some of the things that I haven't been able to pay attention to, like my YouTube channel. I started a Patreon page.
Yeah. What's the address of the Patreon page?
Just my name.
Your name.
Patreon, patreon.com/Dino Cazares. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we also use this show, let's say, to promote the new ways. And as you said, we are finding new ways to create our own income and to promote the band and going on. So this was the way, we wanted to make it somehow, okay, let's try to stay in contact with the fans and try to show them that we are still with them, even if in a different form, because of course, as you said, it's impossible to go. But yeah, it's great to know that you decided to pay attention to all these socials, all this stuff. As I said, I've seen you very active, on Instagram, and that's great. For the fans, it's
well, you have a lot more time now, right? You have a lot more.
Yeah,
time.
Absolutely. Yes.
I'm not on tour, so it's like I'm sitting at home, and so for me, I was just trying to build myself up more on social media, not necessarily the band, but just myself.
Yeah.
And one of the cool benefits for me is that right next door to where I live, the next house over, is my engineer. My engineer, who's engineered the last 3 Fear Factory records, lives next door.
Wow. So you are. So it's time to lay down some new riffs, man.
Exactly. And a lot. We've been able to write a lot of music, not just stuff. Actually, stuff for all my projects. So, so for me, I was able to take that time and able to concentrate on some of the projects that never got that much attention. For instance, I'll give you an example. My band Assassino, which means assassin. Yeah, we haven't put a record out since 2007.
Actually, we were supposed to meet at the Hell and Heaven Festival, man. Because I've seen that you were supposed to play there. I think you played there.
Yeah, we played there. Yeah, we played.
You made it. We had to cancel one day before we had to fly to Mexico.
Yeah, well, in the beginning, your country had it the worst. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The problem was like that. And it was the first European country that had been hit this much, So they started with us, with all the restrictions, all the quarantine and everything. So basically we were not allowed. We were kind of allowed to land there, but as soon as you land, you had to do 14 days quarantine, which, made impossible to do the festival. And of course, also to do the tour that we had after the festival. So we were supposed to meet there, and would have been great.
Yeah, there was a lot of bands that didn't make it. But we had a blast. We had fun, and it's funny because when we got there wasn't a lot of cases in Mexico. You know what I mean? Mexico wasn't really that hard hit at the time.
No, yeah, it's no. In that moment, it was like that. They were kind of rejecting people from Italy, of course, because we were in the shit totally, especially people from the north. The north is still very, it's not solved, the problem. I mean, it's not solved anywhere, but here is pretty safe. We have 0 contagion. It's super okay. In the north, Milan area, it's still disaster. I think it's more or less like New York for you guys.
Yeah. Here in California, it's pretty steady. It's been steady. It hasn't gone up, gone down. It's pretty much steady. But yeah, that festival in Mexico was amazing, and it's too bad you guys couldn't come because there was still 40,000 people there.
I know. Next year, man. Next year.
Yeah, there's always next year, exactly.
Maybe next year you come. Maybe next year you come with Fear Factor, man.
To where? To Italy or to Mexico?
To Mexico. Hopefully both, man. Hopefully both.
We do go to Mexico quite often because it's so close here. Mm-hmm. So we do play there a lot. So anyways, going back to me being in quarantine, I've been really lucky because my engineer lives next door. So like I said, I was able to go over there and write a lot of music. And actually, like I said, my band Assassino, we hadn't put a record out since 2007. So now that I got this time, I go over there and we're almost done with the record. So, pretty soon you'll be seeing some new stuff from Assassino. Of course, it's not as fast as FLESHGOD Apocalypse.
Well, we slowed it down a lot,
I know lately.
Yeah, we try to explore as much as we could, that's great. I mean, like, one of the, I think what you're done in your career as well, it's like exploring, like there's a lot of very weird stuff, weird remix that you put out as official tracks and stuff, from Tear Factory. And it's, that makes you think that, the first thing to be like, a proper artist and to like make a step forward for the artist, like to explore, to expand, without any kind of, restrictions that you put to yourself, try to stick on.
That was one of the things about when we started Fear Factory is that, of course, yes, we wanted to be a metal band, and metal band was the core element, but we wanted to explore. But at the time, back in 1991, 1990, 1992, when we were first coming out, we didn't really have enough money to buy keyboards and samples and stuff like that. So when we did, yeah, exactly. So when we did the first EP, Fear's the Mind Killer, we teamed up with a guy named Reese Fulber, and Reese Fulber came in and added all these keyboard and electronic elements, and that was what we wanted to sound like, more like. So when we went into demanufacture, we wanted to incorporate that stuff even more, and that's when we were able to like really expand on our vision of what we wanted to sound like. But
then you evolved.
Exactly.
Every record. So,
but on the first record, when Soul of a New Machine came out, it was a heavy record, but it also had some melodic vocals, and so we did get a lot of criticism because of that, because no one really heard that before, so no one really knew that. So Fear Factory's mentality was always like no limitations. Just, we try everything. We try to blend whatever we can into our music. And, like I said, when we did Fear's the Mind Killer, the EP, it was like more electro, dance, industrial stuff. And that really, if anybody hated us before, they hated us more now. Because this was something new. Things that people hadn't really heard a really extreme band, do remixes.
I think you are like very unique. And as I said, you are a pioneer of a genre. And for us, you are, Fear Factory is one of the bands that influenced me the most. Imagine this. I think I told you when we met once was a Whiskey a Go-Go or something like that, back like 5 years ago or something like that. Then I met you there. And for me, it was like such an honor because probably the proper contemporary metal song that I ever heard in my life is Replica.
Everybody, yeah.
I had this cassette, like a mate at school came with this cassette and was like, check this out. This is impossible, because of all the drum sounds and everything. It was a step forward, and it was like whatever you were listening after that was just weak. It was so powerful, so tight, and also with time, I related to that songwriting a lot because I understood the importance of all the patterns and everything, like how to write a guitar riff on a drum beat with all the kicks and everything. So it was like so essential for our songwriting as well, even if we have different influences or whatever. But we still when we write a song, it's always like, okay, now we put a Fear Factory part, you know. So that makes that, you know, like, oh, we need some Fear Factory here, you know. Means that it's so important, so influential that still, you know, it's. So I want to thank you for that. You know, it helped me a lot to understand a lot of songwriting, a lot of especially arrangement stuff. You know.
Yeah, and it's really funny because even stuff that I write now, sometimes I have to go back to albums like, you know, demanufactured and obsolete for arrangement ideas, because some of the stuff I did back then was so cool and the arrangements were really cool that I can still apply that knowledge today. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is great.
Yeah, if I ever get stuck on something, I'll kind of go back to what I did before.
But did you realize that you were kind of, you know, becoming like that iconic and that influential for many other bands while you were doing that? I mean, like, did you feel like, hey, now we are throwing out like something that is going to be a milestone for a genre? When you did Manufacture, for example, you know, did you have this in mind, or you were like releasing stuff and whatever comes, it comes, you know? Did you have?
We felt it when we were mixing it, because when we had the right mixer, Reese Fulber and Greg Greeley, when they came in to mix the album and they started to connect with our vision of how we wanted to sound, and once we heard it all put together, that was when I was like, oh, well, okay, this is going to be good. This is going to be big. You know
this is going to be, yeah. Wow.
And when that record came out, all across the board, you know, when you know, Kerrang! Magazine, all the metal magazines gave it a 5 out of 5, 100 out of 100, 10 out of 10. It was just that record that everybody was like, wow, this is new, this is cool, it's heavy, the riffs are still there, double bass is there, and the great vocals. So it was, but you know, there was a lot leading up to that record. You know what I mean? There was a lot of discovery that we discovered, you know, going up to that record. But you know, on the first record, there was still classic songs like Scapegoat, Skunk Breathe. You know, we were already still exploring with those type of arrangements and type of groove, and like songs with like Lynchpin, where Lynchpin was probably the first song that we wrote that had the syncopated double bass.
Yeah, they had like in that direction. Yeah,
exactly, in that direction. That was probably the first song. And so if you go back to the 80s, before Fear Factory, of course, I heard a band do the syncopated drums with the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And that was Metallica. They did it only one time. Do you know what song that was that they only did that one time?
I don't know. Maybe one?
Yes.
When it's like that thing.
Yeah. When I heard that, I'm like, why can't they do that more? That should be it.
But that's good that that's good that they left this to you.
They only did it on that one part of the song, and I'm like, why can't they do all the songs like that? Because you know, I hear a lot of like, if you go to Master of Puppets, you know, Disposable Heroes, you know, like, can you imagine that the Kicks were doing that? That was that was what I heard. So I was like, man, why can't you do it more? So I was like, well, forget it, I'll do it.
Okay.
That's when like songs like Leechmaster. That's where the idea came from. And I was like, I need to make a whole band like this. I make all the songs like this. You know what I mean? So that's where I
even push the boundaries even farther. I mean, like with Divine Heresy. It's even faster. Even, you know, of course you were playing with Tim Young. I mean, like, Tim Young is.
Yes, but yeah, when I was at a Fear Factory for those few years, I was like, okay, I need to do something more intense than Fear Factory, but still but still be in the realm of Fear Factory with the melodic vocals and the big choruses and stuff like that. But, you know, I wanted to add more of a modern twist for me, you know, like doing guitar solos, because Fear Factory doesn't do guitar solos. So all those elements I brought into Divine Heresy, doing guitar solos, doing some killer, more intense riffs than Fear Factory. Yeah. You know what I mean? More riffs actually in a song than Fear Factory.
Yeah, it's a little bit more, more intricate stuff. Like definitely more, like let's say more death metal, maybe, kind of.
Yeah, more
a little bit more modern. Yeah.
So then, but Tim Young wasn't the original drummer. The original drummer was a guy from Australia. He was in a band. He was John Sankey. He was in a band called Devolved.
Okay.
And we initially wrote the first album. Me and this guy, right? But he had to leave. He got kicked out of the country because he's from Australia.
Okay.
He was only here for a few months. So he got kicked out, so I needed a drummer. And so that's when Tim Young came in.
Yeah.
And, you know, Tim Young definitely added some flair. A lot of cool rolls and stuff like that, intricate stuff. But a lot of that stuff was already written. Tim Young really didn't write till the second album, Bringer of Plagues.
Which is the album that Travis is singing on.
Travis Neal sang on that record.
Travis says, I met him once. We toured together because he was doing like guest vocals, or maybe it was in the band actually, with a UK-based band called the Sonnet Serenity, and we were doing a tour, and it was he came and it was like, oh, nice, cool. And I asked him, I was like, do you do this for a living? Because they were like an opening band, you know. It's like, yes, more or less, you know. I have another band, I have another project. It was like, what's the name? I was like, Divine Heresy. He was like, oh, fuck. It's like, It's like, awesome. Super nice, dude. It's a nice guy. It's from San Diego, if I'm not wrong.
What's that?
I think he is from San Diego.
Yeah.
South California area.
Yeah, not that far from here. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's cool. We did a second record, and then I went back to Fear Factory.
Yeah.
So when I went back to Fear Factory, I didn't really have a lot of time to do all those projects.
Yeah, I know.
So
you started touring again and everything.
A lot. I started touring a lot. Yeah. And we released, we released 3 records.
Yes.
Mechanized, The Industrialist, and GENEXUS.
GENEXUS, yes, the last one.
Yeah.
In which Mike Keller is the last one. I think it's in the last 2, or in the.
Yeah.
Mike Keller is the last 2.
We had Gene Hogan. Yeah, we had Gene Hoglan
on Mechanized.
On Mechanized, but Gene Hoglan's a mercenary. He goes.
Yeah.
He's a drummer for hire. Yeah, he's a drummer for hire. So he went with Testament, and he also does Death Clock as well. So we needed a more permanent drummer, and so I reached out to the guys at what's it called? The drumming guys. I think it's called Extreme Drummer or something like that. I can't remember the name of the.
I don't remember. The drummer guy.
No, it's a drummer. It's like there used to be like a drum website.
Sick Drummer?
Sick Drummer, that's it.
Oh, okay, so Anton and Ian, these guys.
Yeah. I reached out to Anton at Sick Drummer. Mm-hmm. Sorry for the brain fart there, Anton. But
no, it's super nice.
I reached out to them, and they gave me a list of guys. They gave me a list of all the top guys. I'm like, oh my God, it's a lot of guys to go through. So I auditioned a lot of guys. A lot of guys sent out videotapes and blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, YouTube videos.
Yeah.
So there was a couple of guys that I really liked, Mike Keller and a guy named Samus Policelli.
Okay. I know. I know it very okay. I know Samus very well. Very, very well. It's a good friend of mine. And I think is an amazing drummer. But I think right now it's more on. He decided to create his own channel, so he's always doing covers and playing stuff. He moved from New Jersey to Canada. Lives in Canada, and it's super nice, dude. Super fun.
Yeah, great guy.
Did you see the Metallica cover in which he plays with dildos?
I did see that. Yes. I mean, the guy's multi-talented. I mean, he can play guitar, bass, drums. You name it. Yeah. But anyways, him and Mike Keller were both in the running. You know what I mean? Like I liked them both, and I couldn't choose one.
Yeah. So
I flipped a coin.
For real?
Yes, and Mike Keller won. Yeah. I did, for real.
Wow. All right. So this guy is like, turn your volume down and stop interrupting your guest. Okay. Sorry, Matthew. I'm just enjoying this conversation a lot. Is my volume too high? I don't think so. I have this Amazon, thing. I think. Sorry. Anyway, sorry. We sometimes got some complaints.
But so it was between those two guys, and I had to flip a coin to choose because I liked them both equally. You know what I mean? But But at the moment, well, the last 3 years, unfortunately, Fear Factory has been plagued with legal lawsuits. So it has been preventing the band from doing anything for the last 3 years. Yeah.
So things are, if I can ask, things are moving on, and everything is gonna be, you think you're gonna be able to come back like properly or not?
We'll see. I can't say yes or no, but I'm gonna be very positive, and I'm gonna be like, I hope in the near future that things will change.
Awesome. That's great. So you also, as you said, you started writing stuff. So I think, it's...
But I've been writing for everything.
Okay.
For all the above, like for Assassino, for Divine Heresy, and for possible Fear Factory. So I've been writing and getting ready, getting prepared. So when
as soon as you have like green light, you go.
Exactly. So I'll be ready and prepared and have stuff already written.
Okay. That's great. Yeah. Awesome to hear. All right. So let's check a little bit of, like, there's a lot of people going crazy, and everybody love you, and like have people from everywhere in the world. So that's great. Also on Facebook, like a lot of people thanking us for inviting you. So and I want to thank you for for joining us. So
of course,
that's great. And all right,
I do want to say hi to everybody out there in the world, and I appreciate all of them for supporting me all these years and supporting all my future stuff. So
I think that like a lot of people are
going to be taking fan questions.
I appreciate what? Sorry, man.
Are we going to be taking fan questions?
Yeah, of course. They are asking some stuff.
Know anything?
They had there was this rumor about the Soul of a New Machine tour and stuff like that. But of course,
that was definitely a rumor. I was actually answering somebody on Twitter because somebody asked, "Hey, would you ever consider doing that?" And I said, "Hey, is there enough? Do enough fans know about that record?" Because it was people really didn't discover us till demanufacture.
Yeah,
so not a lot of people really know about Soul of a New Machine. So the question was, hey, the answer was on Twitter, hey, do enough people know about this record to play it in its entirety on tour? And for some reason, the media took it as like we were, Fear Factory was discussing on doing Soul of a New Machine.
Go back.
In its entirety. Yeah. And so it kind of blew out of proportion and wasn't necessarily, that's not what I meant. You know what I mean?
Okay. But I think many people hoped so.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I mean, there was a lot of people saying yes, and there was some people saying no.
No.
meaning like no, they were saying no to the fact that maybe that a lot of people didn't know about that record, and maybe the tour wouldn't be as successful because they didn't. A lot of people may not buy tickets because they didn't know about that record. That's what they were saying no to. They were saying no, not to do it. They were just saying no. Maybe it wouldn't be as successful.
All right. So this guy is asking if you are working on a new band in the vein of Divine Heresy, because I've heard rumors.
Yes, I was looking for a singer for a new project, and I was overwhelmed. I got like over 300 submissions of vocalists. Yeah.
So you need at least 150 coins first to at least make one half of them.
Yeah, and I'm still going through some of the videos. Actually, there's a guy from Italy that's really, really good, and he did a really good job.
What's his name?
I don't know.
You don't remember? Okay.
I don't remember. I don't remember. But his name is Milo. I don't know how to say his last name.
Milo. Yeah.
He has a studio in Italy.
Okay.
Anyways, he did some really, really good stuff. Cool. But unfortunately, he's in Italy. He can't come over here.
Yeah, of course, yes. It's complicated, especially now.
Yeah. There's a lot of good singers out there, and there's a lot of good people. So, we'll see who I choose.
All right. Andrew Stevens says that, please tell Dino, thank you for changing my life with his music in Fear Factory, which I think this is one of the best things to hear for a musician.
Yeah, well, music, it's really cool that I'm able to, that people appreciate what I do, and people, look at it as a positive, influence. Because music changed my life too. Music changed, you know what I mean? Because I wanted to do this since I was 9 years old. Mm-hmm. And, luckily I've been professionally able to do this since I was in my early 20s. And, Demanufactured changed my life. When that record came out, then the band was like, boom, we blew up, and, definitely, we're able to tour more comfortably.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, things change for you, yes, but you kept the same attitude, I guess.
Yes, I think that's just in me. The aggressiveness. The aggressive style, the picking style. I have a lot. Yeah. I have a few different picking techniques that I like to do.
Okay.
If you go to my Patreon page, you'll see that stuff.
Okay, so go to the Patreon page of Dino and check out all the stuff. Like another cool question was, I just had to stop this because I have the feed going nuts now. But if you would consider to take a female vocal in one of your projects in the future,
yes, because I've had some really good female submissions. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
So I'm definitely open to that. Any if there's a female drummer, a female bassist, a female vocalist, no problem.
Yeah. Listen to this. This is even more touching and probably even deeper. Thank you for making Fear Factory. It helped me during my cancer treatments. I mean, like, maybe we don't even realize, like, not even like a short percentage of how important what we do for people, like the music, how important it is for them. Like, it's like not just
music can be very personal, can be very emotional. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could definitely provoke a feeling in us, whether it's anger, whether it's happiness, or whether it's sadness.
Yes.
I wrote a song. It was called The Final Exit.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you know. It was a song on Mechanized. And it was the last song. Yeah, it was the last song, and it was a song about terminal illness, because my mother died. My mother died of multiple sclerosis, and so this song, when I wrote this song in dedication to my mother, right?
Which is great.
Yeah. Sometimes when we play it live, I get a little water eyes because it provokes that feeling and the memory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, of my mother. So evoke that feeling. And so I can see how sometimes if it touches me, then it probably touches them as well.
Yeah, it's like, we are like open books, right? So all the emotions, all the energy that we put in the music is like transmitted straight to the people, sometimes not even words, not even, it's just, it's the magic of music, I guess. So it's inspiring to see you, give this importance to what you write, because nowadays sometimes I feel like that. I always say that music, you don't have to take it super seriously, but music is a serious thing.
Yeah.
Art is a serious thing. So it's not a joke. And when it becomes a joke, it pisses me off, because it's a different thing, like as an artist, you have to take it easy. But the art is another thing. It lives by itself, Yeah. So you have to be super, to respect it and take it very seriously. Because, in the end, that's what happens. There's people going through like dark times, and the holy handles that they had is like maybe music, art. So
a lot of people tell me that, the music has definitely gotten through them through tough times.
Yeah.
Especially songs like Resurrection is a very big song. Resurrection, you know what I mean? And happier times, I think everybody can relate. Like when you first hear a band, like the first time I heard Slayer, I was in junior high, and I was like, "What the hell is this? Oh my god!" And it just, those records bring me back to a time of when I was a kid. You know what I mean? When you go back and listen to those records, and now I see that with my records. When Demanufacture came out, people can tell me where they were at, where they heard it, and you know what I mean, because they remember that memory. Like, hey, I was in school with my buddy, and he said, listen to this cassette, and they put it on, they heard it, and boom, they're like, oh my god, this is amazing, and they can remember all those times. So when they come see you, it can be an emotional moment because, hey, I remember when I was in junior high or high school listening to that cassette, and my buddy brought it to me, blah blah blah, so. And sometimes they can remember the good times. We're getting high, we're smoking, drinking, and somebody said, listen to this, and they put it on, like, oh my god, so it's a very personal and emotional moment sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So now talking about memories, these guys say, out of all the tours you did, which one do you consider the best you've done? And how do you see the future of touring now?
Ooh,
this is complicated. Okay, let's go back to the first one, to the first part.
What is my favorite tour that I've ever
done? If you'd remember, like maybe a highlight on tour or something, like something that happened that.
I can't say, I can't choose one or the other, because I've always find something great about every tour that we do. But I can tell you about, like, when Demanufacture first came out, we were this small band in a van driving across America and Europe and everywhere. And then when Demanufacture came out, it was like all of a sudden we got the attention. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, like, wow. And then just opening up the magazines and reading about yourself and all the positive things that people were saying. And all of a sudden, the band gets to the next level. And this is where we went worldwide. We toured all over the world, like 3 times, 4 times on that record. All of a sudden, Ozzy Osbourne asked us on tour. Iron Maiden asked us to go on tour. And it was like, wow. So, they're all great tours because you're playing with great people. You know what I mean? So it's hard to say, this is my favorite. You know what I mean?
Of course, yes. That's great. And how do you see the future of touring? I mean, like, I think he asks if you see it like close or not, and in time. I mean, like, if it's something that it's going to happen pretty soon. I guess that like most of the tours are not happening till next year, 2021. So, and then we will have restrictions, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sure there's still going to be some restrictions, masks, no moshing, things like that. You know, maybe limited to the amount of people, but I don't know, man, because I don't know. I think by next year that everything is going to be. I think people are just going to have to live with the virus. They're just going to have to live with it, and people want it to go back as normal as possible. You know what I mean? If there are restrictions, then there will be some restrictions. If not, then you're taking your own chance going to a concert with a bunch of people and possibly getting sick. That's where I see the future being. You know what I mean?
It's the more realistic way to see it also, because it is what it is. It's not something that you can interrupt until at least we have like the majority of the people vaccinated. Otherwise, it's not. And still,
Yeah, but you're always going to have those people who don't want to be vaccinated.
Yeah.
Because they think, there's not enough testing on the vaccine. It could mess up my brain. It could do something.
Yeah.
It could be worse, if I take the vaccine, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah, it's complicated. But at least, us musicians, we will have the opportunity to tour and be protected, which is important. For example, for us from Europe, coming to United States, it's complicated because of like healthcare and medical insurance. So it's not that now the insurance companies are starting to add this like COVID-19 clause, and you can get sick and they pay for it, but still it's not that clear, it's not that easy. And I think for European bands, it's going to be a mess to come to United States for this reason.
Well, same thing when we go to Europe. We don't have insurance out there either. You know what I
mean? We have several countries that have like public, healthcare stuff like that.
I know, because one time I got really sick and I had to go to the hospital.
Okay.
And I was dehydrated, right?
Okay.
They had to put an IV in me. They put me in a room. They put me in a bed in a room, nice room. This is in Portugal. I was in there for about maybe 6 hours, until I was feeling better. And I had to play a show that night. So I was in the hospital for 6 hours, from like 6 in the morning till 12 in the afternoon. And then, so when it came to pay the bill, my tour manager paid the bill. So we were in the cab going back to the bus, back to the venue. And I say, "Hey man, how much did you have to pay? I'll pay you back. I'll pay the band back, because I have to pay it." And he goes, 35. He goes, 35. I'm like, 3,500 euros? Okay, I get it. And he goes, no, 35 euros. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
35 euros.
It's a ticket that you pay to enter the hospital, I guess. Like Italy is the same. So we have like
in America, that would be like $8,000.
Yeah, I know.
It's insane.
Yeah, that's why we are pretty scared to come there if we don't have like a proper insurance coverage, because you can go broke forever if this happens. And it's totally unpredictable, especially because you can wear the mask and take all the measures, whatever, but better than me, going on tour is every day is wild. Every day is an adventure. So it's you don't know how it's.
You're meeting people every day. You're shaking hands. You're talking to them. You're very close.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we take the gel and stuff like that to clean our hands. But But still, it doesn't matter. You're in a venue. You're in a club. You touch something. You know what I mean? You go to the bathroom. You touch something.
Yeah. Gas stations, whatever. You live on the road, actually, so you cannot expect that everything is sanitized like 1 second before you enter. It's impossible.
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not.
All right. So I know that from you that you liked very much the design, the caricature that Abby made. this friend of mine. You love it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna send you the IRS for that one.
Yeah,
it's super cool.
She's a really cool artist. I know she's done some other stuff before.
When I asked her, she said, "Wow, incredible! I love Fear Factory. They are one of the best bands ever." During my university, I were listening to them a lot of time. So I was very happy that she liked it. And she asked me, "Can I experiment a little bit with Dino?" I was like, "Yes, of course. I think he's gonna like it." And then he came out with this mechanical like Terminator Dino or something like that, which is unbelievable and fits perfectly with your music, with your style, with your right hand as well, which is something out of this world.
I've met her online before. She's done some other artwork of me, and I met her online, and I actually put her on my Instagram and on my Twitter and on my Facebook, and she started to get a lot of attention from that. So.
Yeah. We're trying to also promote her as much as we can because she collaborates with us and she does all the flyers. So this is for the fans and everyone that is following the episode of today. You have to support her at patreon.com/abystabbyart. Remember, guys, go there. You can have like all the caricatures, designs, whatever you want to. She's super nice and she's super, super, super talented. So you're gonna be super satisfied of what she does. There's people writing in Cyrillic. Thank you, Nazdarovye. That's the only word that I know. Thank you very much. And so people from everywhere in the world writing. Let's see if we have some other quick questions, and then I'll let you go because it's already 47 minutes that we are talking. Time flies, man.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially for me that I'm fanboying today, all this. I was like, let me write some questions for Dino. It was like,
it's funny that that you look at us as an influence or a band that you like because your band is so extreme and so super talented. You guys are extremely talented. I mean, I think you do more than one thing, right? You sing, play guitar.
Yeah, right now I'm playing guitar and sing. Like I started like that.
Yeah.
I play guitar and sing. I've the other guy that is directing the show is my keyboard player, the piano player, the other guy. Okay. So it's everything we do it. And I play drums. When we met at the Whiskey a Go-Go, I was playing drums.
Oh, you were playing drums. I seen you drop a stick.
Okay.
You were going.
I fucked up. Okay.
Hold on. Maybe
it was the pressure. It was the pressure.
You were playing, and you looked at me, and you dropped a stick, and you're like, and then after that, you didn't look at me no more.
I was like, I was playing and I was like, okay, it's a show like another one. And then I turn myself and I see one of my hero, you're there. And I was like, of course I dropped a stick. I should have dropped my leg, like the entire leg, probably. That was great. And it's great that also that you go to the shows, like very underground shows. I don't remember I think it was with Septic Clash or something like that.
I think so, yeah. I don't
it was like very underground show.
Yeah, I mean, the club, the Whiskey. I mean, the Los Angeles clubs here are like my my second home. So whenever somebody comes to town, you go to Rainbow. Yours, I'm gonna go. Yeah.
You go to Rainbow Bar.
The Rainbow Bar, exactly.
Yeah, Rainbow Bar. Yeah. Awesome. All right. So, it's 49 minutes we're talking. So thank you very much. Let me invite the next guest before I let you go. So you have like a free morning because I think it's almost 10 in California. Yeah. This other guy is one other big influence for FLESHGOD. The more, let's say, the most melodic, most epic chord. And
where is he?
Where is he? Yeah, he's coming. So, ladies and gentlemen,
just one second.
Welcome Rafael from Angra.
Let me finish YouTube here.
Free morning because I think it's Hey, Rafael, can you see us?
Hey, just a second. Just a second. I can hear you now.
Okay, here he is. All right. Here he is with headphones. More professional.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How are you doing?
I'm good? Fine. Yeah, very good. Good to see you, Francesco.
What's going on, Rafa? How you doing?
Hey, Dino, how's it going, man? Good to see you again.
I just saw Rafa in LA, like, I don't know, a couple months ago.
Yeah, it was January, just before lockdown started.
Yeah, just before lockdown started.
A few weeks before. Yeah. All the memories. You belong to the past memories when the world was free. Exactly. You were one of the last persons I've met in liberty. You know.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Right after that, I came back to Brazil. Things started to get a bit worse, and now we're disappointing ourselves and the world with our ability.
I love Brazil. One of my favorite countries to go play. One of my favorite countries.
Well, yeah. Now in Brazil is getting a little bit worse. I think you got it a little bit later than us, so it's now. Right now, it's rough.
Right now it's like 8 minutes to 2 p.m. It's like
nice.
Yeah, how I call it, 8 minutes to 2 p.m. Yeah.
Okay.
I also did a show with Rafa before too. Last time he was here in LA, he interviewed me for, was it your YouTube channel?
Yeah, my YouTube channel. It's on already, man.
All right.
I got a little bit confused here with the cable.
What is happening there?
I'm sorry. I got a little confused with the cables. I'm sorry, man. Now I'm free again.
Okay.
Anyway, Dino, by the way, the show is on. It's already on my YouTube channel. So
make sure you send me a link so I can post it.
All right.
I will.
All right, okay. Dino, thank you very much for being with me and Rafael actually now. And you are a great dude. Thank you
very much. I'll see you guys later.
All right.
Shout out to Nuclear Blast too.
Okay, thanks a lot, and stay well. Take care. Ciao, Dino.
See you guys later. Bye.
See you again.
Goodbye.
Hey, Francesco, what's up?
All good, man. And how are you?
I'm fine. I met you in Brazil, remember?
Yeah, of course, yeah. It's good memories. Yeah. As you said, memories are when we were free. Fuck. Right now is as I said, is now here is a little bit better, but in Brazil, from the news we hear is like one of the country that has hit in the last 2 weeks the worst. So how is it for you? You are suffering like the strict lockdown there, or?
It's not very strict. Yeah, we call more like a quarantine. People are not obligated to stay at home. Like the police is not putting people in, but it's very bad because like where I live, São Paulo is one of the worst places in Latin America for the COVID situation. Okay, and the problem here is that, like in my city, only here, over 6,000 people died only in my city. Okay? 10 hospitals, they had to shut their doors last week because I mean they didn't have more. They weren't available to treat more people because of the inhalators and stuff. You know, like respirators,
ventilators.
Ventilators, yes. Yes. So they didn't have all as many as needed, so they had to shut their doors. So that was very concerning for everyone.
Yeah, here we have an area which is like in the north, and they had so many dead bodies that they had to get the army help to carry the body out. You know. And it was very sad image, yeah. So one of the worst, yeah, because it was totally unexpected, and they couldn't bury this body, like give a proper funeral. Like I've seen people, participating to the funerals on the phone, like it's unbelievable. I think it's one of the worst things that can happen to anybody, like you're not even able to stay with your loved ones in a situation in which of a loss or something like that. It's unbelievable. I mean,
I don't want, if things got the same here, like if the army is collecting bodies, I don't know about it, because we're also living in a situation where we get very misinformed about what's really going, There's a political thing, and also the press is all involved. The media is all involved with politics here. So it's like sides fighting to bring to people what's going,
So you're saying
our president, he believes that the whole thing is like a, how do you call it? Like a plot,
Okay.
So like the whole thing is a plot from the richer countries. He's like getting people confused. So all the doctors, they say, you guys should stay home. The situation is very serious. We don't have beds and treatments for everyone. So the thing is, the best you can do is just stay home. Then the president, he comes saying that no, we should leave. We should be free, because that's how we're going to get stronger to the virus. So he's like encouraging people to leave the quarantine. The president, okay?
Yeah, I know.
Like the top of the pyramid system here. He's saying
it's pretty unfortunate that we have that, like many countries in the world, there is this concept that this whole thing is something like let's say an hidden war, or something like economical war or something like that. So they try to modify and let's say, as you said, you are not like 100% informed. The point is, like, for example, here when we suffered this at first, actually, I have to admit that we were pretty lucky, because this government was very serious and took it very seriously from day one. We were very lucky because, and I think that this was kind of like we were. Italy is a country that has like multiple situations. Like the northern part is very, very rich and is very organized, but the south is a little bit more chaotic and unorganized. So we were lucky also to go this in the north, which is the part of the country that could handle it a little bit better. But still, we had like a shitload of people die. Like the death toll was brutal, especially in the first days. So when you see all these people dying for no reason, and you see the cemeteries and everything that cannot even handle the bodies, then you realize that it's not normality. This is something wrong. This is something which that cannot be like something invented by the media or stuff like that.
It's not just another flu, right?
It's a fact. It's a fact. Yeah, it's not just another flu. So after that, especially after they had like this very serious cases at the very beginning, they started to close, and we had like a very strict lockdown for over 2 months. So now we are reopening very slowly, but they are fearing a second wave. So let's see. But I'm happy to see you safe, and I'm happy. I hope that everyone in your family is safe as well.
Yeah, they are. Thank God. I mean, well, we're all running short of money, of course. I mean, but I think the whole world's got like similar problems now.
Yeah.
So if you have a company, your company was being very profitable, and your business life were going very fine. Now you're suffering, because the things you were building, you're losing. But if your business were going bad, you were like running debts and stuff. Now your business will probably fail. You got closed doors. Closed doors.
Yeah.
That's what's going. That's something that is happening already. If your personal life was a wreck, if you have a marriage that it was unbearable, now you have to stuck with that person for like months in your home. Like, that's also a crisis going. And it's like, it could be hell for some people. I heard that like there are cities here in Brazil, like that 70 or 80% of divorce. Because people realize about their choices.
Yeah. I know.
It's a time that we have to sit at home, check in if your nest, if your temple, your sacred place is really sacred, Yeah. So it's a time of confusion because people are dealing with all their choices and rethinking about what's going to be in the future. But we are still unsure about what's going to be the future. I mean, when are we going to go back to perform live? Are we going to perform live ever again?
I mean, we are going. We have to stay. Okay, I perfectly understand this, but we have to stay positive as much as we have to carry on.
You're right.
Yeah, we have to carry on.
That's what I mean. I mean, hope. The concept hope is being tested individually and collectively.
It's very complicated to talking about business right now because our business is made of projects, and you cannot do projects right now like. We are arguing and discussing all week with managements and bookers and everything because everyone wants to go back to normality, but you cannot plan anything right now because there are no projects. Like I make you a small example. We've been asked to do a live streaming concert, for example. Okay. And so the fans started asking, why don't you do like many other bands are doing this, And then we worked a lot to make it happen, and we still are not able to do it because our drummer is from Vienna. And they cannot go past the border. So like every situation is so specific, and imagine to multiply these specific situations for the different plans that we have to have, and when we go on tour, when we do the album, if we do an EP or an album, if we do. So it's very complicated, and I feel the same. I think I feel you, and I have the same concerns about the future. But at the same time, we have to be optimistic. We have to see that even these restrictions are leading somewhere. For example, in Italy, everyone was pissed off about the lockdown, but right now things are better. In Europe, they are still trying to have the tours going on in the fall. For example, there are going to be like restricted tours. It's not going to be the same, but still, I think we will make it somehow. And we have to change our, expectations probably as musicians. But still, it's something that's going to happen. So you're going to be back on tour. You're going to go on with Angra, of course.
Yeah, I agree with you about being positive, and that's why I say that the concept of hope is being tested now. So we're all with lots of common problems. There's huge transformations in the overall society, the overall geopolitics in the world, right? The geopolitical issues, but individual issues, we got to focus on hope, because now it's a time to build a better world. Of course, not a better world, but the world you imagine.
Yeah.
The world you imagine. So the people who's got hope, they have to bring this to this new world that's being built. The people that doesn't have it, they are also bringing their input, and it's valid. But we, the people, the positive people, the people who still believe that we're going to thrive somehow, some way, you know, it's not possible that this is not organized with a higher law.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, there's a higher law. Now we feel that we're really connected. Okay? So if a small town or maybe a big-sized town, all small towns in China, they're big in population anyway.
Yeah.
So a town in China, all the way there, different culture, very far from your reality, if they all get ill from a virus, that's very hard to be safe of, right? To get to heal.
Yeah.
That means we all humans are gonna get it. It makes us equal. No races, no religion, no politics parties. You know, no ideals.
No,
Because,
I think
you know, Francesco, it's like hope, positiveness. It's the issue now because we're all like put inside the same bag. You know, whole humanity is inside the same bag, and like from the president of United States, which we could say it's the most powerful person in the world, right? To the people who sweeps the streets, you know, and the homeless. We're all talking about the same thing every day. We got the same. We're all in. Of course, everyone who's got money could get a little bit more protected because he's got a better health insurance and everything. But it still doesn't make us safer because the viruses, they're coming stronger every decade. You know, so in 10 years from now, it's not that we're going to like, oh, we're cleaned the virus, all the viruses from the earth. No. One thing, we should learn how to be stronger because we could be more fragile. Maybe the virus didn't get stronger. Maybe our habits, our foods, our drinks, the way we deal with life made us weaker. It's a possibility. It's just a matter of, okay, let's think about it. You got time in quarantine to think about it. So we are obligated to reflect about our lives, don't you think?
I perfectly agree, especially the fact that I think that our habits led us here, you know, like the fact that we never, especially the West countries, you know, never wanted to sacrifice, to compromise, you know, we always want it all. And we just, you know, it is, let's say that it is an heritage, you know, we did it for decades, you know, like we were occupying other countries and exploiting other populations as Romans, you know. And, you know, the problem is that this hope that everyone should have is in contrast with this violent way of living right now, nowadays, you know. I think it's way more interesting to let's say put all this energy and all this aggressiveness into music instead of being like a very piece of shit in the real life, you know what I mean? And that's why I super agree with you. I think that this is we should learn from this, and we should reconsider what are the real important things for us, and what, like freedom. You know, we never took, like we always took freedom for granted. You know, we go wherever we want. We go out. I can go to my parents whenever I want, which is like 5 minutes away from my place. And now, all of a sudden, you know, I can't do it anymore. So yes, we have to try to avoid and try to change our mind and move and in the same direction as creative people, as like optimistic people, as positive people, and try to create a better world, you know, like even in the small things that we do. I really try to have less impact possible when I do stuff, like in sports, hobbies, whatever. I try to be very polite with the nature, to respect nature as much as I can. You are from a country in which there is the big debate about the Amazonia thing, and and that is the next thing, we are going on building stuff that we don't need. But so it's, I know.
How I see it. Well, the Amazonian problem is a huge concern for some Brazilians, and I believe for some other people in the world. Some people consider a international problem, not a Brazilian problem, but an international issue. It could be, it could be seen as this perspective.
Actually, Amazonia is considered the world lung. It's like they translate it as like world lung. It's like the widest forest. So
you were talking about freedom, right?
Yeah.
So what happened now? As I said, we're in this bag. Okay, everyone is inside the same bag. Like the problem caught us all, right? From the president of the United States and the homeless people, or everyone, the humble people. What happened is that freedom, we now realize that freedom was a big illusion, because we were already stuck into a very fragile society.
Yeah.
We've designed a way to live our lives away from spiders, poisonous snakes, tigers, all the predators, all right? All the danger. We don't want the danger to come eat our children, kill our beloved ones. We don't want it. So we designed a society that kept the danger of nature away, outside. But our instinct, our natural instinct, is to live in danger, is to live in fear, because it's already natural for our cognitive system.
Yeah.
Right. Our cognitive system is already prepared for the danger, because it took millions of years. I mean, millions of centuries to create these systems before human beings, right? So now we face the fact that we create like a colony, like a bee colony or an ant colony, but the human colony.
Yeah.
It became like a plague to the world, to nature. If you see Earth from outside, right?
Yeah.
Humans became like a cancer if you see it,
Yes.
It's not beautiful to see the cities from outside. It's I mean, even a desert, it's nicer for the eyes if you see from outside.
Course, yes. So I feel you. I perfectly understand what you mean.
Yeah. So I mean, now we got to free ourselves from fear. Think positive. It's a crisis,
Yeah.
The ball is sinking and we're going to meditate. No, that's not the case, right? I'm not telling you to meditate during the Titanic sinking. Yeah. I'm just saying you to stay calm, because there is a higher law. There is a higher matrix, organizing the whole thing. You got to have hope that the matrix knows what's best for the environment, I mean, your personal problems is not the issue now. My personal problems, they're not priority.
Yeah, not the point.
It's a bigger priority, arranging the destiny, and they got to deliver the control. Okay, I deliver the control to you, dear Matrix. Do your best. I'm gonna pray and believe or meditate or whatever, and to think it's for the best. It's hard. It's very hard. because we're in the middle of a crisis. I got anxiety problems. I talk like now, because I get excited with things, and I mean, I got to deal with it. I mean, I cannot go do sport now, like I cannot jog on the streets normally or on a park. I cannot. People are not allowing me to that park,
Yeah.
because of a bigger issue. So, okay,
Yeah.
so my free will, of just going to the park to jog. No, I mean, you got to set this for later.
And this, how you feel that music is contributing to people, to make the people feel better and maybe feel more free, at least in their mind.
You're totally right, Francesco.
No, that's the, it's,
I know. Sorry.
We always been considered as some like not necessary, like musicians' music still. But now I think in this new perspective that you are explaining, music and art is a way of reaching freedom for ourselves, to free ourselves from these fears.
Yeah, I mean, and the artist, we as artists became much more responsible now. Mm-hmm. Of how to call it, caring about the ones who are at home, because the doctors, they're caring for the people, the ill, for the people, the sick people, right?
Yeah.
The doctors and the medicine and logic is curing the sick people, but art, philosophy, and also faith.
Yeah.
I believe in like 4 big branches of intelligence, right? Logic with science. I believe in that. I believe in art, creativity, multiple possibilities. Just lose it up. I believe in philosophy. It's not so free as the artistic side. It's got some paths, but it's still a bit logic. And faith, right?
Okay.
Faith is not logic at all. I mean, the congregation, the combination of these 4 makes you like your IQ in a way,
Yeah.
Your perspective, the way you see things, and we became again important for the people. Doctors became important to people. Teachers. I have a daughter. She's 15. Mm-hmm. I mean, okay, kids, they're off school, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're still being taught. They're still having classes at home.
Of course,
right?
At home, yeah.
So the teachers, they became also important, so we can move on.
Because all this is essential for the progress, But in a world in which all is about money, if you're not, if you don't create the profit that they expect, then you are, put apart, and that's it,
Yeah.
So but right now I think I feel that we are way more respected than before, because everyone realized that maybe music is we are pretty lucky in metal, because I think metalheads are very dedicated fans, very.
You're right.
Yeah, the guy who listen to metal is I wouldn't say more intelligent, but for sure they take it more seriously. It's a very important aspect of their growth and of their life. The music, they respect it. That's why even if it's a very underground genre, is still very solid somehow. In these dark times, imagine I think rap and pop and old commercial stuff now is in the shit for real, way worse than us. That's unbelievable. But why? Because there's even if they have bigger numbers, the people never cared about them as artists. It was like, okay, it's just entertainment, something that comes and go. Now the metalheads know everything about us as artists, everything about our music, the catalog. They both all the albums, and so it's different. And somehow we are pretty lucky. But in general, I feel that that people gives more. They give more importance and more. They respect musicians and artists much more than before, because they see them as essential part of their life, especially when you are like 24 hours, 7 days a week at home. And you know what you do? You read, listen to music, watch movies. So basically,
art became important. So
as much as food.
Right. There were many times in human history, many different crises, wars, and plagues, like the influenza last century. Yeah. Art is always safe. I mean, if the person's got like a book, in the Middle Ages, mm-hmm. she's afraid of the world, but art can always show a wider perspective of their pragmatic or objective life. Okay, so if you see your room, your environment, mm-hmm. your duties, your responsibilities, your life, your ordinary life, mm-hmm. art is bringing you to a further reality. It's presenting you that your life is wider than that. That's what's happening to people, because their circumstantial life was taken away. You know, it's like, no, okay, I know you got friends, you cannot visit them now. I know you like your work, but you're gonna work at home. I know you like jogging in the park, but now you stay there. So books, movies, music, it's what frees the reality. It's like, okay. It's what shows me that reality is not only my room, my stuff, my observation, me and myself, my solitude, my loneliness, Uh-huh. So artists now, they're also evolving, because now we're going to think we have to first embrace the depth of what we do, even when people else, they disagree. Mm-hmm. They think we're just how you said, is that like not important, or I mean, people would say it because maybe they won't make money. Maybe they won't make money out of your music. They listen to music. Okay, frees the spirit. What else? I want to pay my bills. I want to buy a good thing. I want to buy a gold watch. Now. Golden watches. What is it for? If internet, I mean, can you imagine if our next crisis, there will happen. We cannot create, okay, we tried to build a civilization outside lions, outside spiders, outside danger, right? We tried it, our best. But still, there's a fifth kingdom being presented. Mm-hmm. I see like, okay, we have fauna, flora, the kingdoms, like minerals and fungi. All right, the four kingdoms in nature. It's like if viral, it's the new kingdom being presented, not the new kingdom, but our new perspective. I mean, it's being there. And COVID is like the emperor of this kingdom saying, I know you're trying to control the whole environment, but between microorganisms and between vegetables, I mean,
there is something more.
Life still exists. Organizing chemistry, organizing things to make to create a balance. And I mean, you can try your best to create that balance in laboratory or but now we have to admit that a emperor has presented himself. I'm COVID-19.
You should write an album about this. Like, it's very epic.
Let's do it together.
All right. While you're saying this very interesting things, I've seen people saying that you are a genius. So they are, very appreciating your what you're saying. But at the same time, we have a flame with people that are denying the existence of the virus. So there is no freaking...
Are them from Brazil?
We're all being fooled. So,
well,
yeah,
Okay, let me say, what do you think about it, Francesco? Are we being fooled?
If we are always, if we are, we are.
I'm telling you. What's your opinion? Are we being fooled?
My opinion. I told them. I told the people several times. So my opinion. I agree with what you say, because it's on a side pretty realistic and very let's say close to reality, and at the same time, I think that the perspective and the way we live, we try to coexist with this, and we try to reorganize to have a better existence after the COVID is pretty similar. I think we are on the same page in this. I always said that for me, there's no conspiracy. It's just something that happens, and we have to rationally try to face it and reorganize. We have to adapt as much as we can, because we don't own we don't possess the world, we don't possess nature, so we have to adapt. And adapt means sacrifices, means compromise, means finding balance. So everything you said, from life's philosophy to science to everything, the always, that there is the fil rouge, a constant thing that always pops out, and it's the ability of finding this balance. So what I'm saying is that, as soon as we find a balance with this, we try we face it seriously. We will kind of make a step forward. I don't know if it's going to be a right one or a wrong one. You never know, but at least we will move forward, which is something important.
Yeah, the countries that have been through war, lots of wars. Of course, they evolved and different crises, but there are also countries that are always through crisis, like countries in Africa. They're constantly there's an amount of crisis that you just can't think of a solution, right? But I think I don't believe that it's created. The virus is just a thing, like a conspiration. I don't think. Okay, but there are some details about the thing that makes no difference, because it's a fact. You got either if you agree or not, it's a fact that the whole world's in taking care of a situation like quarantine, lockdown, whatever it is. The whole world is thinking of solutions for what we're facing. All right, it's like there are things that you don't need to believe. You don't need to know the details to learn from it.
Yeah,
we should not wait to understand all of the different aspects of the thing. So for them, start learning from that, because reality is always changing. It's always shaping. And we have to kind of trust that it's for our benefit. Because okay, we all in life, you, me, people listening, people there, we all have been through crisis, personal crisis, family crisis in life, crisis in business. You lose a job or whatever, you lose your business. We all been through. I mean, I'm almost 50 years old. Of course, I've been through lots of crises.
Nobody can tell.
After a while, the only thing that can put you together, get you stronger to continue is okay, it made me stronger. It didn't kill me. It made well, there's a saying, I don't know what's the saying in English or in Italy. It says what won't kill you will make you stronger.
Yeah. It's the same thing.
I don't know the exact saying.
We have a same saying.
So that's the thing. I mean, you got whatever it is it should make you stronger. There's a thinker, historian, very intelligent, very clever person in Brazil. He's called Leandro Carnal. He's a historian, a guy who studies history.
Yeah.
Okay? Well, this guy, he says something. He was asked. He's doing lots of interview because he's very intelligent, right? And he's a philosopher too. He was asked, like, okay, are you writing a book about the whole situation? Huh? He's always saying things about the crisis, the moment we're living, bringing positive words, even. Are you writing a book about what we're living now? He said, no, of course not. I'm a historian. I'm a history studier, right? So I have to first see the facts. So we're still going through it. I'm still collecting, observing. When, like 10 years after, 5 years after, whatever happens afterwards, then we can judge what really happened. So now we shouldn't be so concerned on the details of what exactly is happening. We should embrace that reality has changed completely. It's like we thought it was a calm tide, and then we're under a thunderstorm, and or like the tsunamis a few years ago, it is like, I wouldn't say nature because it could be misunderstood. I'd say reality, cosmos, the algorithm of life. It's gotta have one. I mean, He created the whole thing. He creates every day. He creates the systems, the cycles. It also creates time, creates space. It creates deeper things, the connections.
We have Bibi saying Rafael for president. You got many votes. You got many votes, man.
I wouldn't.
I'd
love to help. I wouldn't be I wouldn't be a politician, but I would love to help.
You are too honest,
education and culture. Here in Brazil, education and culture is like going very down because the country is bad, but we cannot educate our kids to make it better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think in the whole world, it's happening a little bit. Like slowly, we are becoming a little bit more ignorant, and that's definitely something that it's helpful for and essential for to be for the bosses to manipulate a little bit more. As I said, I'm not that kind of guy that thinks about conspiracies or whatever. But of course, if you wanna have like people doing what you like or get your vote or whatever, the first real weapon that you have is spreading ignorance as much as you can. Yes. So it's let's see if all this situation is gonna it definitely put us against the wall. So now we have to face it, and maybe we will wake up and we will kind of reproject society, because not everything that has been done so far is wrong, but there is a huge amount of things that have to be fixed. And
you're right.
I'm perfectly sure that this is a big input, a big stream of inspiration for everybody to be a better man and to become to try to create a better society. So I've seen a lot of comments, a lot of people, saying, "Guy, you got many." As I said, many votes agreed. Rafael has my vote. And then there are some other people,
Francesco, are you writing music? Are you feeling very inspired?
Not that much.
How is it for you?
I'm not joking. Not that much. No, I'm joking. I am very inspired. But at the same time, I think that at first I had some kind of. It was too depressive music what I was writing. So now when I listened to that, it was like maybe it's not myself, because I really love melancholic stuff, like very touching stuff, which is a great balance for music. But sometimes it's it's just like I don't know. It was weird. So I don't know if I'm gonna use that music right now, because right now I feel more like let's say that I think we need to move. We need more some powerful music. We need more power metal that pushes us.
But maybe that will be an afterward thing. I'm very excited to hear your melancholic music.
Okay.
Maybe
we're gonna drop some stuff. Actually, we are working on a song, which is a song that we already released, but we are rearranging some stuff, and it turned out to be very cool. So I think we're gonna release it pretty soon. I don't want to spoiler because we are still working on it, but yeah, we're gonna release some music. We're gonna try to do like a live streaming concert, so stuff like that. So it's already 7:36. So right. Sorry if it's been okay. It's we can go on a little bit more, because for real, it was very, very interesting to talk with you. You are a very inspiring artist, and I just wanted to know how all this affected you, like if you had like plans, business stuff going on, and if you have like some way to get the people support you as a band, like if you have like a merch store or something, which is very connected to the band. So
very good. So first of all, I invite everyone to visit angra.net, our official website, just to be aware of our news, right? I have a YouTube channel. We also have a YouTube channel with lots of nice videos for them to watch. I have my YouTube channel. All right, you go YouTube, you search for Rafael Bittencourt. I won't write down my specific address because it's a bit complicated. It's a Portuguese word. I got to change. But anyway, and by the way, we were speaking with Dino Cazares. I have just recently released an interview, a talk with Dino.
Awesome.
Just before the huge crisis of COVID, right? And we were speaking about heavy metal industry in South America and metal music for us as being Latin people. All right.
Okay.
So Dino Cazares is a Latin guy in the United States. He is a situation. I come from Brazil, a Latin country. So there are some similarities on the way we see, some other things that we see different. But how, in the end, we build a Latin American metal scene, which is huge. People are very faithful and they're passionate.
I know it's one of the best places in the world.
Our singer is Italian, Fabio. I hope he's watching us now. I was also
Ciao, Fabio.
Ciao, Fabio. And the thing is, we were talking to Dino Cazares in my YouTube channel. So go there. Rafael Bittencourt is my name. Look for it on YouTube, my official channel. You see that very nice chat that I had with Dino just recently. What else? Stay calm, stay at home. I'm too very inspired, writing things, trying not to lose my mind, trying to think that there's a good thing in the very end of the tunnel, that is not the light of the upcoming train, as we heard before our dear David Lee Roth, and made the metal music find its freedom. Like one band that I love Opeth, for instance. We never know what they're bringing, because sometimes they flip their minds and they start doing another totally different kind of music, but then still the same people. So they're trying a deeper connection with their audience. Like, okay, I don't want you to mold myself into what you think I am. I'm bringing you different pieces of me so you can really try to see how we're just the same.
Yeah,
with our
surprising everyone. Surprising people, everyone, yeah.
Because they're not afraid of showing their limitations, of showing their what they really are, you know. And I love Opeth for that. I try to bring this kind of concept in Angra because we've changed a lot since the beginning, and that freedom it's like Freddie Mercury, for instance, he had, you know, he was always writing songs of whatever came up to his mind. So I hope that we all come out of this stronger and lighter in spirit.
Awesome. Thank you for this statement, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the invitation, Francesco. It was a pleasure. I hope to see you guys soon, so we can hug,
hopefully we're gonna do some shows together. Some shows together would be great. Yes. So I'm very, very happy of this episode because Dino is super nice dude. You are legendary, and at the same time, you know, very smart guy. And it's been very, very nice to kind of have a different chat. You know, like had some kind of chat about this life philosophy with Mark from Epica. I loved it as well. You know, like it's very cool when you talk about, you know, like, as I said, life philosophy, perspectives, hopes, and, you know, you explain better your point of view as an artist, and you try to kind of, you know, invite people, you know, to just double check their certainties. And that's great, a great thing. All right, so what I say every time, I see the guys posting your YouTube channel. So if you want to go on Rafael's YouTube channel, just go on our Facebook page, and in the comment feed you will find the YouTube channel. And all right, I have a list. So first of all, thank you, my guests of tonight. Thank you guys for following us, commenting, asking. I really hope that you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. Also, if you took picture, tag yourself or tag Saturday Night Lockdown so we can repost and reshare your pictures. It's always a pleasure to spread the word and make this show bigger and bigger. We just started 2 months ago, and it's already super cool. You know, I'm pretending to be like a show host, but
you're fine. I'm actually very nice.
Okay, I'm actually having very much fun. I want to thank Nuclear Blast for helping us with the channel, and Mike because he's always behind us when we do the show. The let's say the godfather that you don't see of this show, which is Francesco Ferrini, my piano player, is directing from behind.
My dear friend.
Yeah, dear friend. He collaborated with you guys on the latest album, and so go and buy Omni, the last Angra album. Omni. Yeah.
By Angra.
And,
check it out on Spotify.
Check out on Spotify as well. And again, if you want to support us, you didn't say your merch, like the store is connected to your site.
Yeah, you can check it out.
Angra.net. Okay.
And also on my RafaelBittencourt.com, which is a website that I'm changing. I'm studying on a new business model for my own website. So it's changing a lot. You can also visit that one.
Okay, go check that out.
And merch for everyone.
Okay, cool. And for us, if you want to support us, you go check the stuff that we have on shop.fleshgodapocalypse.com, and you will find a lot of stuff there. So if you want to support us, just go there and buy some stuff. Of course, listen to music, listen to Fleshgod, listen to Angra, listen to metal in general. And next week we're gonna have a very extreme episode. I think I'm kind of spoiler a little bit. We're gonna have a guy that made the history of death metal. He's American, and he He has to do with a very long river in the north of Africa. Okay?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So it's going to be super cool. We're going to announce the guest early next week. Thank you very much. It's been a great episode, as I said. Thank you for following us. Thank you, Rafael. Rock and roll.
Thank you, Francesco.
Stay safe. Wear a mask. Try to stay away from other people as much as you can. And we will be back stronger than ever. Ciao.
Ciao.
Obrigado, man.
De nada, man.
Thank you very much.